So, news came out over the past several days that some significant changes behind the scenes at WWE have occurred. Now, along with that, tonight's SmackDown, for the most part, was kind of, once again, just like Raw, giving a mixed reaction. Thus, pretty much, I guess you could say, backing my theory and my speculation that for some odd reason, and I don't blame him if it's true to an extent, I don't think Triple H really cares that much about the Saudi shows like Crown Jewel. I don't think he really does. I mean, again, he does understand that, they're stuck in a business deal right now that pretty much, locks them into having shows over there for the next, who knows how many years. But you can kind of tell that he's not really into the Saudi shows. I mean, he is giving some efforts, here and there, some effort to push them, to get people to tune in and watch him. But, besides that, there's not really, I guess you could say, much, urgency to really hype them up. And again, this kind of further proves and backs up my theory and speculation from a couple days ago that he doesn't really care. He really doesn't. And I want to thank people for helping get that video up into the 200, almost 300 range. I really appreciate that, because obviously a lot of people see pretty much what I do. Because, if Hunter did care, there'd be more effort put into these shows and everything, but there isn't. But, speaking of the effort, as I mentioned, Triple H behind the scenes is definitely making some moves. I mean, tonight we saw the return of Tenille Dashwood as Emma. She's back. And there's speculation that Chelsea Green and possibly Deonna Purrazzo, the VXT in Impact, could show up as well in WWE. Chelsea Green making her return after a while, and of course Deonna Purrazzo making her return after only getting maybe a few showings on the main roster as pretty much enhancement talent, jobber talent, if you will, to the likes of a Nia Jax or Ronda Rousey, if you catch my drift. But yeah, basically Emma is back, and there's a possibility that she won't be alone in her return, very soon. But again, going back to what I said at the beginning, Triple H is making a lot of moves, and as noted this past week, he has nixed as an event, not the concept, but as an event, he has nixed Hell in a Cell. He has nixed it, basically. He has nixed Hell in a Cell, so, as an event, so now it'll only be, once again, a match. But what it sounds like is it'll be a match that'll be treated as it always once was. Basically a match, to build up to culminate feuds with. Like what we had with Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. Hey, that might, end up giving us, a Hell in a Cell rematch once he comes back and, he resumes his feud with Cody. That pretty much could be what's on the table. But, yeah, he's ixnayed the event Hell in a Cell, and it's just going to leave it as it always has been. An event, a match that could take place on any event, any pay-per-view premium live event that is reserved to end feuds or blood feuds, if you will. That's what always made it special. Because once you heard it announced, it's like, oh crap, this is going to be huge, or oh crap, this is this is going to be the be all end all of the storyline of the feud, if you will. And pretty much it would be. Pretty much it would be. It would be exactly that. It would be, the culmination most times of a feud ending, or the end of an era, like it was at WrestleMania many years ago. It doesn't even feel that long when it comes to that match too. But still, that's what it was always meant to be. And now it's going back to that, which I think, and everybody else along with me, I should say, not alongside me, but along with me, agrees. Is a good move. Because, everybody has said that the one thing about, Hell in a Cell as an event is, yes, it was highlighted by maybe 1, 2, 3 at most Hell in a Cell matches, and some of them didn't even, warrant a Hell in a Cell match. And that's a fact. I mean, JD from NY206, despite how you feel about the guy, even he pointed out that when Bayley and Sasha Banks got the feud finally on television, they instead of going the right way, instead of going the correct way, they went in reverse. And instead they had Hell in a Cell, then they had, Last Woman Standing or something like that, then they just had a regular match, and that was it. They went back-ass backwards, pretty much. And, that's not how it was supposed to be done. It was supposed to be done the other way. Have a regular match, and have a stipulation match, and then have Hell in a Cell to close it out. That's it. But that didn't happen. And then you take a look at Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins, when they did their thing, The Fiend and Seth Rollins, at Hell in a Cell years ago, at the event, at said event of the same name. I almost tripped there, crossing the road. But anyway, you take a look at the disaster that was, and a lot of people have said that even that did not warrant a Hell in a Cell. That you would just, you just basically were fast tracking The Fiend because of merchandise sales and all that to the top and straight to the title, and into a feud, a program with Seth, without really giving it time to, to simmer and build up and, properly, get to that point. It was all basically for naught, if you will. And the Hell in a Cell match, the way it ended, pretty much tarnished what Hell in a Cell was for a while. That is until Cody and Seth Rollins, ironically, kind of reminded us of what it originally was in the first place. But with that said, Hell in a Cell as a match is still going to happen, but it's only going to be reserved for those certain occasions. It is. It's only going to be reserved for those certain occasions. I mean, one certain occasion, this was another bit of news that obviously Triple H is working on behind the scenes along with a group of people. At least they're discussing, getting the wheels, turning for it to happen. And that is Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. Bray Wyatt is looked at pretty much not just by his merchandise, but by the way he is positioned on the show as the top babyface. And, with the Wyatt Six obviously being either a group of people, or, as we probably saw tonight, multiple personalities of Bray. And how terrifying and unpredictable they are. You can see why fans are behind Bray and why he is listed as that, because if Roman is listed as the top heel, a heel like Roman or a heel like LA Knight or, Gunther, they're not going to know who the hell they're facing. They're going to not know who to prepare for. Like, yeah, you're going to fight Bray Wyatt, but who are you fighting? You know, are you just fighting Bray Wyatt the man? Or are you fighting Uncle Howdy version of Bray Wyatt? Or are you fighting, you know, are you fighting, what's the other one that's been copyrighted? Uncle Howdy, cousin something, whatever the name is. You know, are you fighting them? You know, is that the side of Bray you're fighting? Are you fighting the Fiend Bray Wyatt? Are you fighting Swamp Bray Wyatt? You know, it's like, who are you facing? Who are you fighting? And that's why he is looked at as a top babyface, because when you have him go up against, you know, some of your heels there, you know, it's going to make those heels be like, do I really want to face this guy? Because I don't know who I'm going to get in the ring with. So, yeah, basically that's why he's listed in that position. And as I mentioned, they're already planning, I'm sure Hunter's in on these meetings, they're already planning to do the match. They already plan to do the match. Now, JD obviously gave his opinions on it on one of his off the scripts today, or yesterday, depending on when you listen to this. You know, apparently he gave his thoughts, but he's even, in a sense, you know, kind of saying, look, if you're not going to say this for WrestleMania, then don't do it. And if they're already talking about it, though, discussing it, then obviously they are doing exactly that. They are saving it for WrestleMania. So that's a good idea. And again, it could go into what I said before in a video. You know, who beats Roman? Well, one night you could have Cody beat Roman, and then the next night you could have Bray, you know, beat Roman, and there you go. Or vice versa. You know, you get the best of two things. Period. But yeah, they're already discussing that and everything. And if they go any further with that, but don't, you know, push it in a way that push it and destroy it like they did with Rollins and Wyatt, or Rollins and the Fiend, then yeah, I could see, you know, the culmination of that feud in the future warranting a Hell in a Cell, no doubt. And then speaking of cage-like matches, you know, as I mentioned before, Elimination Chamber is going to be in Montreal, and everybody is debating, well, if you're getting rid of all these gimmicky pay-per-views, why not get rid of Chamber? And a lot of people have come out, you know, like a JD, like a Just Alex, and many others, and they have justified the fact that, you know, Elimination Chamber plays a significance in its, you know, place on the calendar. Like, you know, for one brand to get the Rumble, you know, the other brand gets the Elimination Chamber. Like if a Raw like if a female Raw star wins the Women's Rumble match, and a SmackDown men's star wins the Men's Royal Rumble match, then you have a SmackDown woman win the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, and you have a man and from Raw win the Elimination Chamber match for the men. It equals out, and everybody gets their opportunity, you know, their chance to shine. And that looks like the direction they're probably going to go in, to 2023. You know, and everybody's already saying, if you look at the roster right now, along with returns and everything, you know, the Rumble's going to be one of the best ever. It really is. But yeah, you know, Triple H is making some moves, you know, with bringing back stars like Emma, and potentially, you know, Chelsea Green, and maybe even Deonna Purrazzo. You know, he's making moves there. You know, he's, you know, rectifying, you know, Hell in a Cell by putting it back to what it was. You know, a regular, you know, special occasion match that's only saved to end feuds and all that, not be an entire event where matches take place within the cell that don't warn him. So he's making moves. He's doing things that are needed. And again, to follow up on the last video, and like I said at the beginning, you know, you look at Raw this past Monday, you know, how fans felt about that, how it felt lackluster. You take a look at, basically, take a look at basically, elimination. Yeah, sorry, there's some visitors up here, cats. But like I say, you take a look at, at something along the lines, basically you look at, not along the lines, but you look at the lackluster performance of Raw and everything, and it's just, and the way people feel about SmackDown tonight, again, you can kind of tell he doesn't really care about the crown jewel perspective of the, the calendar year. He really doesn't. So, let me know what your thoughts are, guys. I'm home now, and that's all I'm going to say. And until next time, I will talk to y'all later.